A wedding planner, and my last client asked me to invite someone who takes pounds of flesh as payment. I've been planning weddings for 15 years, and I've always prided myself on getting clients whatever they want. No matter how impossible it seems, I find a way. That's how I built my reputation among the wealthy families in our town. But last month, a client asked for something that almost cost me my life. Miss Laura came from old money. Her family's wealth went back to the first colonies, and it showed. When she hired me to plan her wedding, I knew this was my chance to break into the upper echelon of high society event planning. We met at her family estate to discuss details. Laura was sweet, reasonable, and clearly knew what she was doing. She'd grown up attending debutante balls and charity galas, so planning a wedding was second nature to her. Everything was going perfectly until she made one specific request. I want the woman who lives in the House of Pounds to attend my wedding. I nearly choked on my tea. Everyone in town knew about the House of Pounds and the old woman who lived there. They called her the crone, and parents used her as a boogeyman to scare their children. Why would you want her there? I asked. Because she's my great aunt, Laura said matter-of-factly. I stared at her. I'd never heard of anyone who'd actually met the crone, let alone someone claiming to be related to her. Why don't you or your father invite her yourselves? Laura's smile faltered. She smoothed down her skirt nervously. You know why they call it the House of Pounds, don't you? Of course I knew the local legend, but I pretended I didn't. Say the words, Laura demanded. Say them, or I'll find someone else to plan my wedding. I knew she'd follow through on that threat. Wealthy people always do. So I recited the rhyme every kid in town knew. Welcome to the House of Pounds, where all are given just one round. First penalty's a pound of flesh, but try again, she'll take the rest. Do you know what it means? Laura asked. Before I could answer, she stood up and hiked her skirt up to her waist. I gasped. There was a chunk of flesh missing from the inside of her thigh, not a scar or a birthmark. An actual piece of her leg was gone, like someone had carved it out with a knife. You see, I can't go back, Laura said, pulling her skirt down. I've given my pound of flesh. If I go again, she'll take the rest. 2 days later, I drove out to the House of Pounds. It was a shabby Gothic revival mansion that looked like it hadn't been maintained in decades. I was expecting some crazy old hoarder, not the monster from local legends. I knocked on the door, and it opened immediately. A little girl, maybe 6 years old, stood there wearing a Victorian maid's outfit. Please come in, she said. She is expecting you. The girl pointed down the hallway with her thumb. I noticed her other 4 fingers were missing. My stomach dropped, but I forced myself to keep walking. At the end of the hall, another little girl in the same outfit stood next to an open